Greetings, pod fans. It is day 9 of Pod Fajita. Pod videos himself every day in April. And today, I just want to have a chat again. Don't really have anything poignant to say or anything like that, but I just want to hang out and have a chat. And yeah, maybe we'll actually talk about some ADHD stuff. Because I, as an ADHD person, I have a lot of issues with eating food and drinking water. My brain doesn't seem to tell me when I'm hungry. It doesn't seem to tell me when I'm thirsty. And that can be very difficult when you're a kind of person who wants to gain weight. You know, when you're the kind of person who goes to the gym and wants to put on mass and get larger and all that. It doesn't really work when your brain just kind of goes, oh, food. You haven't had that in a while. Oopsies, forgot to tell you. And I've heard from some people that this is a very common ADHD behavior, but as has been said many times before, ADHD is a bunch of disorders in a trench coat. And you know, some people have different things contained within their trench coat. So I don't know how to, like, you know, similar this is for everyone. But over the past year or so, with going to the gym and doing all of that, I've actually gotten quite a bit better at eating, at least. And I guess that it goes back to the, like, accepting my ADHD thing that I talked about, where I can't really follow a plan, if that makes sense. What I've had to do is just remind myself that, oh, you have to eat. Your body's not going to do it, so it all goes up to the brain, which is actually the thing that doesn't tell me. So I think the main thing that's done it for me is just having schedule, having routine, which before I used to have like weird working hours and stuff like that, and especially days off or days where I would be working from home, I would forget to take breaks for lunch. I would forget to have lunch, which I remember saying to someone who, like, you know, I was a person who did things, and there were people who kind of, like, you know, I managed, that's the word, but, you know, I remember people forgetting to take breaks and stuff like that, and I'm just like, don't do that, don't do that. This is 100% a do as I say, not as I do thing, but don't do that. It's bad. You should take all the breaks you want. I forget, but I'm allowed because I'm an idiot. But yeah, now I have structure, much more structure in a way, where I can just remind myself, okay, now we're going. You know, oh, after work, we're going to have dinner. After training, we're going to have food before going to bed. And it has really helped that. 'Cause I remember it feeling impossible. I would start on something and I would be like, yeah, so this is what I do. I'll make these meals and then I'll eat them when I'm hungry. Blah, blah, blah. Completely forgetting the fact that I don't know when I'm hungry. It's very difficult. But yeah, it's very easy for me to sit here and be like, yeah, just find routine, when, you know, it took me 31 years to to find any kind of routine. Um, yeah, it's a very difficult thing, but I think having, like, a lot of my days are very samey. I'll wake up, go to work. After work, I come home. You know, I'm at home for a while. I hang out with the dog. I have dinner, and then after dinner, I go to the gym, come home, eat, go to bed. So it's like, yeah, you know, breakfast first thing. Then at work, like halfway through the day, I'll just kind of keep looking at the clock and be like, oh, it's around 12, it's around 1, it's around 2. I should really go eat. Go eat. Come home, hang out with dog, dinner. Go to gym, come back, food. And that has helped me quite a bit. I've gained more weight in the past year than I have maybe ever. Other than the whole, you know, when I was just growing up and becoming a fully fledged person human. But yeah, it's really tough, and I still struggle with it. I still can go complete days and just be like, it's 6 o'clock in the evening. I've only had coffee today. This is bad. But I feel like, yeah, finding routine and finding a way to samify your things has really helped me. Just having these very similar days where it just like hammering it home. Like, you do this, then you do that, then you do this, then you do that. That's the only way that I've found that helps. What am I actually talking about? Yeah, I guess it's so tough. And like, I have the ADHD thing where you get very into a food, and that's like the meal that's your comfort meal, and then it stops being your comfort meal, and you don't want to look at it. So yeah, it's always so hard. But it goes back to the accepting the issue rather than fighting the issue. Go with the current, don't swim against it. You know, depending on where it's going, don't go off the waterfall. But if one day my comfort meal stops being my comfort meal, I just listen to myself and figure out something else that works, something else that I can eat now. And maybe I'll go back to that comfort meal, maybe I never will again. But I have these things that I just learn, and I just keep trying. Like, when the comfort meal stops being the comfort meal, find the new one. Don't just go, oh, okay, well, now I have nothing to eat. Listen to yourself. Walk through the supermarket, look around, imagine, what you could make, what might be tasty. And these are, of course, things that work for me. And I understand that, like, I've had times in my life where I eat a lot, and then the next day I just don't want to. And even that trick of walking around the supermarket and listening to my body doesn't want anything. So yeah, it's a weird thing, this AD of the HD. But it's just gotta keep trying, gotta keep pushing, gotta grab my bowl, gotta grab Hab cereal. Yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of a ramble for a little bit about food and my ADHD and the gaining of weight. But I have put on weight quite a lot in the past year, with the help of powerlifting, finding that thing that drives me. Because I went from about 75, I was hovering between 75 and 80 kg for the past number of years, and now I am up in the between 85 and 87 is what I've kind of been recently, which is ridiculous, absolutely insane. The fact that I've gained almost 10 kg, and yeah, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling chunky. But yeah, if you have those kinds of issues where your brain just tells you, or just doesn't tell you that it's time to eat, or it tells you you can't eat right now, you don't feel like eating right now, it's difficult. But the main thing is keep trying, keep trying. That's all I can really say. Keep trying. Nothing is impossible. It may feel impossible, and it might be way more difficult for you than it is for me. It might be, something that, is so hard that it hurts. I don't want to put down anyone's experiences by, just talking about mine. But from my experience, my own personal experience, I think trying new things and, like, not bashing your head against the wall, which is something that I did for a very long time. You bash your head against the wall and expect it to change. You're just gonna continue to have a sore head. Find, your door, your door that you can walk in that, is probably right next to the section of wall that you've been bashing your head against. It's... Brains and bodies are complex things. If you listen to them, sometimes they'll give you hints, sometimes they won't, but trial and error, do what you can. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. This was something. And something is what we strive for here at Pod Incorporated Industries. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Slán.